morning, Golden Bear fans. Welcome to the Tell the Whole Damn World podcast. I'm your host, Reza Serafinishat. I hope all of you are enjoying a wonderful holiday season with your loved ones. In this special episode, we will share our thoughts on the LA Bowl that was played a week ago on Wednesday, December 18th. Our football team lost that game to UNLV 24-13. And we will also have a discussion on the impact of the transfer portal. I'll be joined by my co-host, the legendary Ahmad Anderson, and Cal Hall of Famer David Ortega. We're going to get right into it, so let's kick things off right now. All right, everybody, and we're going to do a little recap of the LA Bowl, which just recently played in front of a nationwide audience on ESPN. And we are very happy to welcome Cal Hall of Famer and Cal's all-time leading tackler, David Ortega, to the program once again. Thank you so much, Shark, for making the time today. You went down to the game to go watch it in person there at SoFi Stadium, and just curious about your experience going down there for the game.
Well, yeah, my wife and I didn't hesitate. We bought our tickets and knew we were going to head down and bought tickets for about 20 family members down there. And we also got our good friends, Steve Stafford and Kirsten Stafford, their family, former Cal football players. It was great because you get there, we got there early, little issue with trying to get in because they only had one ticket taker for all the Cal fans who were coming in early. And then we get down there and it was just a ball. It was really cool. Big area for the tailgate and had all former players there, Mike Plowski, Russell White, Jason Wilborn, Castle Redmond. Saw a bunch of guys from the 2000s, Chris Mandarino, Brian De La Puente. I saw all these guys. It was great. Jeff MacArthur was there. And it was a family festive atmosphere. It was great. And then they played a game there too. So we were like, it was kind of funny because it was just a great time for Cal fans. Everybody was just kind of reconnecting with their family and friends and just having a ball. And then we got to watch the game and it wasn't too bad. Our defense played really well. I saw some great things out of those guys. Cade played, which was awesome. Teddy Buchanan in his last game was great. And then you saw a couple young players coming out too, like EJ, just starting his career and threw a couple nice passes and ran a few times, made some good decisions, some not so good. Threw a nice pass to Trevor Rogers, the other freshman of the group, and made a nice catch on the sidelines for 17 yards. There was some stuff there that you could take away for next year, but all in all, the Cal fans showed up at the LA Bowl and they had fun and we cheered loud and we just had a good time, man. It was great. It was great. When you lose your quarterback and your staff on offense, you're not expected to make any waves on the offensive side, but scored 13. Defense put them in good positions, and we almost pulled it out. We almost did. I mean, it seemed like our defense was on the field most of the day, but you know what? They only had 13 points up until the fourth quarter, and I thought that there was a really good effort on the defensive side. They just, it was tough. It was tough on the offensive side, but you know what? Hopefully we get that squared away and we get going.
David and I, Reza, we've all been around the game. We've all been around this particular school and the game, and we've seen people come and go. But I think the joys you've mentioned, right? Folks always think it's just about the win-loss record, but it's also about will the fan base travel. And I didn't have the opportunity to go, but I had droves of folks telling me, from former classmates from the way past to fraternity members to young alumni, said, I'm going, we're going, you going. And then getting this text message and emails of, we're sitting here, we're going to eat here, we're going to stay here. And that just tells me that the passion and love for Cal football is real. But at the same time, I also look and I see a team that went in there, like Dave said, with when you lose coaches, when you lose players who decide I'm gonna jump into that transfer portal, I'm gonna move on, and for a moment you take like you've just been punched in the gut. Also, there's joy, right? a team that, four games that we lost by points where we were leading and we had injuries during the game that put us behind the sticks. And then the opportunities that are arriving in the transfer portal where folks are looking the way that we see Cal is an opportunity to build, an opportunity to be successful. I'm excited about that. I think there needs to be this understanding that, one, this is where we are today, but two, and Dave, Reza, we will speak on this. What more can we do to ensure that student athletes understand that there is more value in earning a degree and staying here and not only being loyal to the university, but what that loyalty means to yourself, to earning the degree and where it can take you once the lights go off?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Ahmad, when you're talking about what the university can give to, anybody who's fortunate enough to be able to go to the University of California. And the vast majority of people who go to Cal don't play sports. They're there for academics. And the value of getting that degree from Berkeley can't be understated. You are connected to this huge network of people that really just stands out wherever you may go around the world. I mean, I think, again, UC Berkeley was ranked among the top 5 universities in the world, according to this one publication that's escaping me right now. But that's a consistent thing. And any student athlete who chooses to come to Cal, they sign up and they plan to finish their degree at Cal, is really getting the benefit of that. And it's as our coaching staff likes to say, it's not a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision, right? It sets you up for success beyond football after having gone and played on the field, because you can only play for so long. And, when you take a look at the number of people who are in the Cal Alumni Association, I think you've mentioned this before, Ahmad, 500,000 strong. I mean, that's an amazing network of people that you are connected with for having graduated from the University of California. I have a few thoughts to say on the game as well. When I take a look at the LA Bowl and how our team formed, we lost 24-13, but as Dave said, our defense really played pretty darn well. Their quarterback was 5 of 18. 5 of 18? That's not good. Our offense got 21 first downs, which is pretty good, and only gave up 12 first downs on the other side. So, the defense was definitely there, and the offense performed pretty well. 348 total yards, 182 yards rushing. So, really, when you take a look, and Ott had a breakout game, which was nice to see. So, there was a lot of positives there. The one thing I'm wondering about, and maybe you guys can speak to this, Dave, when you played, and Ahmad, I'm sure the same thing for you, there was no limit on practice time. So, like you'd said in an earlier episode, Dave, it wasn't uncommon to practice like 40 hours a week or something insane.
Easy.
And these days, there's so limited time to prepare and practice, I'm kind of curious. I mean, the starting quarterback will get like 80% maybe of the reps. And that's just going to leave your backups at quarterback in particular at a real disadvantage to be able to step into a real game time action and being able to perform at a high level. So just curious on your thoughts on that.
Reps in practice is scrimmage. It's like a scrimmage for all the players. They need to understand the level, the speed, and the quick decision making you need on the field at that time. You earn those in the classroom, on your workouts, and in fall camp, spring football, you earn those reps in the team time during practice. So when you're coming in as a freshman, like our freshman quarterback, he hadn't gotten anything because he just came in, he's learning. So it's hard to go a good amount of the season without getting any real competitive reps, okay? However, some guys just know how to play ball, and it'll come to them. That's why I thought I saw a couple nice plays from EJ when he came out. There was a couple things he did that I was like, oh, okay, I like that. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. And the development starts right now. Who's going to be the leader to get those guys out there, throw the ball, get the timing down? Who's going to call the DBs and have them come out to show up to 7-on-7, and you get throwing and you get going, and all of a sudden you're in the weight room, and who's going to get faster, and all of that comes to a head, right? And it starts right now.
I agree with you. You know, I was a walk-on, and you know, the game was real quick and became very real immediately to me, practicing against the number one team. And you're absolutely right, Dave. You know, for some people, it requires a lot of chalk time, a lot of film time, a lot of walkthroughs, and more importantly, with the shortness of practices that you have now, you really have to be in the moment and pay attention. You can't get caught up looking up into Strawberry Canyon and thinking about how beautiful it is on campus, because somebody's going to clock you when you get out there. And then when your time comes, you won't know what to do or how to do it, or to remember what that looks like when X becomes your Y and Y becomes your Z. And it is so important that the players take the time to call each other and say, I'm going to the field today. I'm going to the weight room today. I'm going to watch film today. All that is so important. David and I have both seen that, and we've heard that when we've been at the stadium, when we walk by rooms and you see players taking the time to do that. This is the time to do it. This is the time when you get better and not waiting for spring, not waiting for summer. Your season begins on the 19th of December, the day after the bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. And so I think our team has to regroup. I think our coaches need to regroup and to get us ready for next year. I thought our defense played well, and I think our offensive staff coming in is going to be good. So let's go. The hard part is what is it, our fourth coordinator in 4 years? That's hard for players. I've been around that a little bit, and that's tough. Learning new terminology, learning new philosophies, learning new blocking schemes, all that stuff. Hopefully that can make it easy enough for these kids to focus on their technique as opposed to what they need to do. Because if it's not second nature of what they need to do, then they will play slow. And if you're playing slow, people dominate you. And so hopefully we can get to the point where we're very versed in what we're trying to accomplish. And hopefully it's not too much, but just enough that we can play it well and fast. Because you have to be able to play fast and you have to be able to play precise. But overall, I thought the bowl game was good for the kids that stayed. I am a supporter of the Cal football program. I'm glad this transfer stuff would not happen when I was playing, because I would not take too nicely to guys that transferred in the middle of the season. I really wouldn't. That's just the way it is. The way it used to be, and what's the deal now is that, it's me over we. So I just want to make sure that we know that this is a football program, and football is the ultimate team sport. And if you say you're family, then be part of the family. If you got stuff to do, do it in the off season. Do it after you're done, and then go. But people are relying on you, and that's just really what they're doing. You play for your brother next to you more than you do yourself when it comes to football at these higher levels. Even at the high school level, you play for your brothers, and that's what makes you great. And if you're not playing for your brothers, then I don't know. But there's a big difference from when we played them on to the kids now. So
it is, and for a little guy like myself, 5'9.5", 175 pounds, it's a mindset. But that mindset and being around the team, what it means to be on a team, that synergy and energy, but that commitment to see it all the way through. I mean, if you think you had a commitment to go to a 6-6 season or 6-7 final season, think about those guys like myself that went through a 3-8 and 2-9 and played every game 100% to the best of your ability with the folks you had on the field, without a transfer portal, knowing and believing, having that grinding, that unity, that teamwork, that guts to lead to success. And then your last year, like mine in 82, to say, you know, I'm not going anywhere. The option isn't to go anywhere. I'm here. I've burned my boat. There is no turning back. And then end up with a 7-4 season thinking, just looking at what you had to do and who your team was, that kind of commitment and mindset is what folks need to have. So when you get here, play to win and not to keep from losing. Be committed in the here and now, and then think about the there and then later.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a saying, if I'm not mistaken, during Tedford's years where the team motto was hold the rope, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it was this idea that, you know, it's the whole team pulling and holding that rope. You have a responsibility to each other, right? You're part of a family. And I think in this day and age now with NIL and the transfer portal, it's really been watered down a lot. And it's distressing to me as a college football fan, just because it takes away from the enjoyment that you would have of seeing these players develop within the program, to really have that investment in seeing them grow as young men. And it's something I think to really be cherished, your time at Cal. Like with this podcast is kind of like shining a spotlight on your stories at Cal. Like, why is Cal so special to you? The experiences that you had.
It's funny you say that, Reza, because I just saw Will McDonald, who the kid that transferred in for 1 year this year, his grad transfer, and he played, and he just said, I am so excited I was able to experience what is so special about Berkeley, about Cal. And when he said that, I said, you know, you're absolutely right, because like I've said before, we're not a bunch of boasters. We're not going to try and say, you know, whatever. We do. And part of that experience is going through the experience, engaging in the experience, and actually coming out the backside. So speaking of that, I mean, my class has doctors, lawyers, politicians, engineers, the whole bit, right? School teachers, and what have you. And we love to get together because we have the same makeup and the same sturdiness about getting through something. And I want kids that come here to understand that that's a value. That's value added to your experience. It's not something that's, oh my God, I got to go to class and I got to do this. I got to write a 10-page paper by Thursday, you know. What that is teaching you is how to survive in this world. How to engage in this world, and how to tear down the door and go right through it and make sure you're taking care of business, because that's what we do. That's who we are. You know what? If you come to Cal, you're going to work hard and you're going to get added value to your life because of that. That's why I see it.
It sets you up for success later in life. Like you said it, I think in a previous episode, you make it through Cal, there is no challenge that's too big to overcome later on in life. You know, it sets you up for that success. And then just an observation that I have is like, I can't even imagine switching from one school to another school. I mean, this is the time in your life when you build relationships with people that you carry with you for a lifetime. If you're just there for a year and you transfer someplace else and you transfer here and there, I mean, you may develop some semblance of a friendship, but it's hard for me to think that that's going to be a lifelong kind of friendship because you have not had that shared experience that you've gone through together. And that's the thing that I'm always impressed with when I talk to any of the guys who played football. Like you said, the ultimate team sport. You're there for each other. It binds you in a way. It's basically the closest thing to, as a sport, to being in warfare, band of brothers kind of stuff. It keeps you connected for a lifetime. And anyway, just my little observation from the outside looking in. But I can't imagine people going from one place to another, to another, to another. Good Lord. I mean, how do you keep everything straight and just get to enjoy being a student at that time? And
there are those moments being on a team, win or lose, that you'll never forget. It is the part that develops you, the social development of the interaction and that exposure experience of being all you can be in an environment, doing all you can do on that team, and then the building relationships of getting us through that season or seasons, and building those relationships with people that aren't even on the team that you meet. The folks and friends that we have today that went to Cal, that didn't play on the team, but were your dorm neighbor, or somebody you met in a section, or somebody who worked on campus at the time. And then the faculty and staff that you meet that you still see today. I mean, we had Nad Permal on here, and Nad was my first graduate assistant poli-sci person. He was a section leader. He was the guy. I'm still friends with him today. Those relationships are real. The other piece is, people think Cal is, if you're looking for a school to go party at, then go here to school. If you're looking for a school where you can hang out and just be social and it's in a mix, then go there to school. I want to go to school where I want to ensure that I'm going to graduate and have this degree. Well, you get it all at Cal. We party hard, we stay up late, but most of all, we graduate. You get it all at Cal. We are the movers and the shakers. So to have that and then be involved in playing a sport that you love, have mercy. It's like it slipped that Lipton tea splash. I can just fall back into it and just say, I done it. I have done it. I have climbed the mountain, and I've climbed it with a bunch of guys and other student athletes who know what it takes to be a student athlete, but then you can turn that into what you do in life and be successful as well. I have those same classmates as well. Lawyers, doctors, engineers, the therapists, school teachers, CEOs, COOs, VPs, politicians, the whole funky get down. That's Bear territory.
That's great, guys. Well, last thing I want to say on the bowl game was that I think we only had that one turnover on that ill-advised little lateral that, I don't think he meant to throw it as a lateral, but it ended up being a lateral. And so you take away that one turnover and that fake punt that set them up pretty easily to score. And that's a much closer game. And I watched at Raleigh's. I did not go on down, but I had a great time watching it with my friend Dean Sagey. And, it's about the experience and enjoying watching a game with people that you know. And so last little thing on the season, I'll say this. The last two seasons have been maybe not up to everyone's expectations, but at the end of the day, they got to bowl games both seasons, okay, and beat Stanford. So there's a little bow on everything, and we're retooling for next season. We've got already 4 transfers coming in, 2 from Notre Dame. I'm excited about the coaching staff that we're bringing on board, and we'll see how we go. I mean, one thing I'll say is that you look at a program like Indiana, and I know they just got blown out by, they didn't maybe they were blown out for most of the game by Notre Dame. If they can turn it around, like Indiana in football, like what is happening? Like, and they won 3 games the previous season, and you look at like Arizona State, I think in a similar situation, we can very quickly turn things around. And I'm encouraged by the idea that we definitely have the resources in place and can can dare to dream of such things. It's not beyond us, and we should expect to get there.
I'll say the same thing along the same lines. I think that supporting our Bears this year has been pretty well documented, and I think that game day here really kind of set some fires to our fan base to understand, hey, we're the only football team on the East Bay. We're the only team still here representing the East Bay and in the Bay Area, because the Niners are down in the South Bay. So, hey, come support the Bears, and it will happen. But we have to stick with it. We have to stick with it. That's the thing. And our kids deserve our support. The ones that are here that are here for the right reasons to finish their education, to get a degree from Cal, and to play the best football, and to win the ACC next year, be the ACC champion. That's what we're shooting for, and get into the playoffs as well. That's what we're shooting for, and nothing less. But you know what? There were times in our history where we would not have been shaking our finger at 2 bowl games back to back, although 6-6 ended up 6-7. But you know what? We're on the cusp. We just got to keep going, fighting the fight. If we do that, things will work out.
Look, Torrey is the Bay Area. Come see us play, be a part of it, because we believe that as you, we, us together in the Bay, it's Bear territory all day.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate your time here again today. And yeah, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears. And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, kids. And that's going to wrap up this special episode. Thank you again to David Ortega for making the time. And we really appreciate all of you out there making the time to tune in and watch or listen. Please remember to listen to our regular episode that was released earlier this week, featuring our interview with Cal Mike Man extraordinaire, Eddie Kleinhans. And if you have the means, please consider making a donation to ACTS ALS. You can visit their website at actsals.org. Join us next week when we'll welcome former Cal basketball player Raymond Circus King to the program. You'll enjoy hearing his thoughts on the state of the Cal men's basketball program and learning more about his approach to health and fitness. See you next week. As Doctor Who famously says, we're all stories. In the end, make it a good one. What stories do you want to share? We want you to tell the whole damn world about it. Go Bears!